Good morning and welcome to For Fantasy's Sake, the Quad City's first and only fantasy football show. I am your host, Doug. I'm in way too many leagues green. That is DJ, it's all his fault, Jarvis, and he is Chris. I don't have time for that nonsense. Steele.
Just about.
Yeah.
That's a good take. That's a good take.
Yeah. All right. So, welcome to week one. In case this is your first rodeo with us, let me break down how this works. DJ will say something ridiculous. Chris and I will call him out on it. We will make fun of him throughout the entire show. There will be, if you are lucky, a little bit of fantasy knowledge dropped along the way.
Who's coming into the show to give fantasy knowledge?
I don't know. We'll find somebody. All right. As always, or not as always, this is the first year and the first week for this. We are brought to you by Mobile Party Experience, the premier tailgating experience in the Quad Cities. They are on board as our title sponsor this year, and we are very pleased to have them along for the ride this year.
Let's not forget to mention that after a year hiatus, just me for now, am back at Kavanaugh's Hilltop.
That's actually what I was just going to say, but thanks for cutting me off.
Hey, that's what I do.
Yes.
We already know that the show is an hour and a half long, and it's about 80 minutes of me talking and 10 minutes of you guys interrupting me.
Oh, okay.
DJ never interrupts any.
Never. I was thinking this is 80 minutes of you talking and 10 minutes of us having to set you straight, but
yeah. But I've never interrupted anybody in my life. Just ask my wife.
Mm-hmm. She's a saint. Not from New Orleans, but all right. Yes, we are off onto a banging start. All right, so I've got a new webcam, so I still need to learn to adjust this, but at least I don't have the light in my face anymore, so that's always great. Okay, so first thing on the sheet today is we are going to recap Dallas and Tampa Bay from Thursday night. Finally, real football was played. Tampa Bay looked pretty good, had to do a quick come from behind there at the end, but they were in control of most of that game from what I saw of it. But Tom Brady looked good. Dak looked good coming off of his injury. The only guy that really kind of was a quote-unquote disappointment was Mike Evans because he only caught a couple of balls. But I may have been wrong about Antonio Brown. He looked really, really good.
Yeah. You touched on it briefly. Dak looked super good. I know he threw the ball like 60 times, and obviously we don't want to see that all year, especially as people who roster Zeke. But there showed no ill effects from his broken leg, ankle injury, the shoulder stuff that was holding him back in the preseason. Dude looked really good. He didn't look scared in the pocket. He was able to step into throws. I think he had a couple underthrows with people at his feet, but that's NFL. I think that he kind of proved that both, again, they're not going to throw the ball 60 times a game, but both Cooper and CeeDee Lamb are very viable as starts this year.
Gallup wasn't, though. They were throwing to somebody else as a third person. I'm like, who the heck is this guy?
Yeah, they threw to number one, Cedric Wilson. He had mostly been a special teamer. Chris knows him because he's fast in Madden.
Yes.
But yeah, no, they were throwing to him, and Gallup got hurt. I think he's going to miss like 4 weeks. But Wilson's going to step in. They'll probably use a few more like 2 tight end sets, get some work for Blake Jarwin, who was invisible in that game. As far as that, I'm kind of intrigued maybe what they'll do running back wise, but because they used a lot of Pollard, Zeke didn't really do anything. But
the analysis there, for at least from what I saw, was that they needed Zeke to stay in and block more because they were missing, I think it was Collins on the offensive line, and Tampa's run game or run defense is so good. It wasn't. That's why Dak threw so much, was because they were, they knew they weren't going to be able to run it the whole time.
Right.
Well, yeah, with Zach Martin out, that offensive line was very banged up, and you don't want to go against Vita Vea and Ndamukong Suh. That up front, it just wasn't a good matchup for Zeke. I was surprised that they didn't even try it at all, though, and that they really gave more touches to Tony Pollard than they did to Zeke at all. I understand you needing to have somebody to stay in and like block for the interior there, but at the same time, give Zeke the ball. He had like a couple touches in the second half and he got like 4 or 5 yards a pop. So why weren't they doing that earlier? It just doesn't seem, it seemed like this game more than anything was to try to get Dak comfortable again. If that's what you were trying to do, they accomplished that very well because he looked great. But is that something that you're going to be able to continue on with? And DJ's right. I do like Cedric Wilson. He had a big game last year. He came into the league around the same time. I think it was the same year as Gallup did. So he was a late round pick. He's a guy who's just fast and they try to develop. And maybe he could turn into something now that he's their number 3. He should be rostered if you have a spot for him.
On the other side, like I'm curious, both running backs in Tampa were responsible for a turnover. So I'm kind of, Rojo had the fumble and then Fournette misplayed a ball into an interception. So I'm kind of curious. Arians doesn't really play that crap where he kind of like rotates guys in like that. I'm kind of curious, is this going to be where they trust Gio Bernard a little bit more, or what do you guys think is going to happen there?
Arian's a crazy man who's going to play the hot hand. And it started off early in the game that Ronald Jones was looking good. Then all of a sudden they're just like, hey, he messed up. He fumbled. We're going to go to Leonard Fournette. And Leonard Fournette immediately ends up having that tip pass that turns into an interception. And NBC did a great job of getting a shot of the two of them sitting on the sideline looking like they were the most deflated children you've ever seen in your life. So it could be that Gio will get in there a little bit. I don't think he's going to steal very many touches because Arian's just going to go with the hot hand, and they're both talented enough to get hot again.
Is this a situation where we might see them elevate like a Keyshawn Vaughn or Darwin Thompson from the practice squad, or do you think they're just going to handle with these 3 dudes and carry on for there?
I think they like Keyshawn Vaughn. They don't like him enough to protect him on the roster, though. I think that tells you a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they'll roll with the 3 dudes unless one of them gets hurt.
Yep. The Dallas defense actually impressed me a little bit just because they came away with the 4 takeaways. That's something Dallas did not do very well last year. So that might be something to keep an eye on, is if that Dallas defense can be good. They did give up a lot of points, though.
I think as the game went on, you saw the maturation of Micah Parsons, and you saw the corner start playing a little bit better. The issue was they just got absolutely toasted on that second corner, just every time. And it was both ways, where you saw the second or third corner for both teams just get absolutely roasted every time down the field. And because it was the brown guy for Dallas, and then I don't recall the guy's name for Tampa Bay, but they were targeting him every single time. And I think that as the season goes on, obviously the safeties will play better. Those guys will get better. But I think that the problem Dallas, and I know it's going to be a problem defensively for everybody, is it seemed like there was a lot of just wide open dudes. It seemed like every time there was a few catches from like Brown and Gronk made catches, and contested catches, but it just seemed like dudes were wide open all game.
Yeah, and I think part of that is that Dallas's cornerback that they just drafted, that they were looking to come in and be a day one starter, was injured. I think that's a little bit of it too. I can't remember his name. I think it's Nashlon Wright, something like that. I think they were kind of going to be looking for him to start maybe right away, maybe be in the nickel. Who knows at this point? But with his injury, you have to have the rest of the guys move up. And at the start of the year, when you're still trying to figure things out, that's not a good look.
Right.
Next thing on the agenda, there's not a smooth transition for that. So we're just going to go next thing on the agenda here. Saw a thing while I was waiting to get my fresh fade yesterday. In the last 16 openers, Cleveland is 0-15-1. And then the tweet said, that's got a snap, right? And then it says, oh, wait, they're playing the Chiefs. So, Deej, I know what your answer is going to be. So, sit this one out. Chris, chances that Cleveland can actually pull this off. I think they've got a decent shot because they're not like the Bears or the Lions that need the Chiefs to go out and lay an egg. They can actually hang with them. So in your mind, kind of what's the way that Cleveland can knock off Kansas City today?
I think we're giving the Browns a lot of credit. They're still going to Browns to a certain degree. They'll hang, but I don't see them winning that game.
No circumstance can they win that game.
It's going to take some sort of injury or something weird to happen. Maybe they'll hang around just long enough that there'll be a weird fumble or something like that. But that's a loser's game. Is you're waiting around for somebody to make a mistake so you can surpass them. You want to be the team that can surpass them. And maybe Cleveland will come out and they'll just be on fire to start the game. But the other side, you have Michael Jordan of quarterbacks and Patrick Mahomes. So I just don't see them winning this game because when it comes to NFL games, when I'm trying to pick them, I just look at who has the better quarterback. And by leaps and bounds, that's Kansas City for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think there's any doubt in that. But I don't think it's unreasonable. I think we would be surprised if we saw Cleveland win today. I don't think it would be shocking. Like the world wouldn't stop turning in that scenario. That the people would be like, oh, Cleveland's legit this year. It would be the response, not, oh my God, Kansas City blew it.
I still just don't like Cleveland's defense enough. I know Myles Garrett is a game wrecker and a complete game changer, but it takes more than one guy, as we've seen in Chicago multiple years now.
Well, they did sign Jadeveon Clowney.
Who's questionable?
Jadeveon Clowney's probably played like 4 games in the last 3 years, I'm pretty sure.
At the end of the day, when it comes to Browns Chiefs, anything is possible, okay? And plain and simple, the last time they played, Chad Henne played nearly half of the game, and they didn't win.
Is that game in Kansas City or is it in Cleveland?
It's in Kansas City.
Okay, so yeah, Cleveland's got a bit of an uphill battle,
and it's really the two trends where Cleveland hasn't won a game in a billion years to open the season, and Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in NFL history in September. So, I mean, I think Cleveland covers 5.5, but I really think that Kansas City wins the game.
5.5 is a lot for an NFL game.
I think they cover. Yeah.
I feel like that's fair. Like I said,
Kansas City was
we think they can hang with them. I don't think that this will be. I think we could definitely see this ended up being like 28-24 or something like that.
By all means, if Kansas City wants to blow them out, obviously I'll take that. But yeah,
you're right. It's a game that will look close on the scoreboard, but I think it'll be a game where Kansas City is clearly in control the whole time.
So you think they're up like 28-0, and then like Cleveland scores 24 in the last like quarter and a half to make it interesting?
No, I think it'll be one of those games where Kansas City keeps expanding it out to a 2-score lead, and then Cleveland goes full throttle to get it back to a 1-score lead, and then Kansas City still has the ball after that.
Yeah,
I can see that. Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe a little backdoor cover by the Browns.
Yeah, a little bit.
Something like that. Yeah, late field goal to knock it down.
And Al Michaels will be all mad without being actually mad and saying that he's thinking about the gambling ramifications, but he'll be pretend mad on the broadcast the entire time.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right, so that will take us to the end of our first segment. On the other side, looks like we are going to do a little running back talk. So that is what you got coming up. But this year, DJ is doing the commercials, so God help us all.
What do football fanatics in the Quad Cities love more than their Sunday football? Tailgating before, during, and after their favorite college football games. And Mobile Party Experience has the hookup for all your tailgating needs. Mobile Party Experience offers solutions for all types of party throwers and goers. They have towable trailers that offer music, TV, gaming, private bathrooms with running water, flushable toilets, beverage dispensers, cool grills and utensils, tables, chairs, and tents. They have all of
Uh-oh. DJ's internet connection isn't doing great, and
He done froze. He's thinking very long and hard about that next word. He's never seen this word before, Doug. He's looking at it. He's contemplating it. He's
trying to sound it
thinking.
out.
Look at it right there. You can see it. He's thinking. Thinking. Trying to sound it
I
out.
told you in the text, but I didn't tell the watchers this, that when we were on Paula Sands Live here a couple of weeks ago, you know how they always make you do the mic check, and they told us to count to 10, and I was very proud that DJ got all the way to 10 by himself.
Now, did they make him count up to 10 or down from 10?
He counted 1 to 10.
Oh, yeah. I'd be more impressed if it was the other way around, Doug.
I would too, but you take what you can get with him.
It's DJ, so you know how it goes.
Yeah. So obviously we will bump the other commercials to the next segment. So let's, since we came back and I'm choking on the toast that I was trying to eat during the commercial segment, let's just roll right into the next segment here. First thing up, Baltimore's backfield has just died in the last week. What are you doing in that situation?
Really, right now, I just took a complete flyer on Williams because I saw the injury happen to J.K. Dobbins. I was thinking, okay, so if it's down to just a couple guys, why not throw a lottery ticket out there and see what I get on Taysom Williams? And Taysom Williams ends up being the main guy. I guess if you are looking for somebody that you need to start, which I definitely was, he's worth a roster spot because who knows what you're going to get from him. But Baltimore is that run first offense. Does this completely change things for them? I think so. I think you're going to still get some of the looks that you're used to, but I think Lamar's going to be dropping back a lot more in this circumstance. I think this is really going to help Hollywood Brown. I think this is going to help that entire offense. Mark Andrews probably gets bumped up a notch because of this. Yeah, absolutely.
For him.
Yeah.
They did sign Latavius Murray this week, formerly of New Orleans.
Right.
So he's probably not going to be the number one guy this week since he just got there. But I could see him being the number one guy going forward, though everybody seems to like the Tyson Williams kid. So we'll see kind of how those two guys shake out.
I think that running back is one of the easiest positions to pick up. So if your mindset is that it's going to take him a couple weeks to figure out the playbook, it's running back. They're going to hand him the ball and he's going to run forward. That's the way it works. You got to worry about the blocking schemes a little bit, but those will get there in time. Right. I think that's why they're going to trust Taysom Williams. And if he does come out and have an immediate impact and he's playing great, they're going to ride the hot hand. Why wouldn't you think that somebody could just end up being like the Jaguars running back last year and just like come out of nowhere and be a James Robinson?
Exactly. And the other thing, too, that I forgot, that Latavius Murray was coming from New Orleans where they have that complicated playbook. And obviously Baltimore's is not anywhere near that complex. So it's not like he's got to do the opposite and learn Sean Payton's nonsense. He's going to a simpler option. Looks like we might be joined by someone. Hey, look, it's someone.
The internet service that shall not be named found a way to shut me up.
Well, in the problem, I think, with the Baltimore backfield, though, is you have to take an actual look at it now because you've got 3 guys that went down with season-ending injuries. You got to look at that from a fitness standpoint. There's something that's got to be going on. I saw the hit on J.K. Dobbins. There's nothing you can really do about that. But when you lose 2 other guys in addition to that, that's a problem.
Plus their corner.
Yeah.
We don't like him anyway.
No, but still. But yeah, you're right. That if I'm the owner of that team or I'm the general manager, I'm walking down to the medical offices and going, what the hell is going on down here? Because you shouldn't be losing that many dudes with that serious of injuries that quickly.
I think that's the key part of it, Doug, is that quickly. You're going to lose running backs over the course of the season. It just happens. It's a part of the position. But at the same time, have you really factored in the fact that you're going to lose this many guys before the ball's even snapped on week 1? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. Okay, so outside of those, let's say that I was running Gus or somebody like that there. Outside of the replacements that are on Baltimore's roster, if you were rostering one of those guys, who are you looking at trying to grab off the wire right now just to plug in and try and plug in for week 1?
From Baltimore perspective?
No, from a fantasy manager perspective. Who would you want? Who would you want to try and pick up off the wire?
Off the wire right now, I think it's going to be pretty dead no matter where you're looking right now. There's going to be guys out there that are just they're going to have to like be touchdown options. I think that's as good as you can get. Maybe the running back in Green Bay, the backup, that might be a good to get some touches around the goal line. But yeah, I think you're going to be hard pressed to find somebody week 1. You have to wait for those injuries to start to happen, and then you got to jump on the guys that are going to replace them. I think that's the biggest part of it. There's 2 DJs.
God, that's my worst nightmare.
Apparently, my internet is just choosing not to cooperate today.
I love the freeze frame though. It's so great. Aww. That was delightful. DJ, do you know any running backs you can add on the wire? Because I can't think of any names right now because all of them are going to be snatched up at this point. You have to wait for those injuries to happen so you can grab those guys, right?
Yeah, maybe just keep an eye on the Atlanta situation. Wayne Gallman might be an option, but other than that, you're assuming like James Conner's owned, Kevin Coleman's owned, guys like that who might not immediately, where we don't know their situations, they might not immediately get production, but you're holding on to them anyway. So I think that you're kind of wishing luck. I think that a lot of people freaked out with all these Baltimore and went and handcuffed their guy.
Yeah. One thing you could potentially think about is if your team has IR slots, maybe go and pick up Tariq Cohen because he's on the PUP list. He's not going to play for 6 weeks, but you don't lose a roster spot. You can just hide him on your roster and just wait for him to get healthy, and then you can drop somebody later in the week.
Yeah, I think maybe what you do this week, if Cohen's on the waiver wire for you, you drop your kicker, your defense, pick him up, throw him in the IR, and then pick somebody else up. Pick up a different kicker after that goes through.
I like the Wayne Gallman assessment, DJ, because I see him as somebody who's like really ready to kind of break out this year. There's not a whole lot in front of him, and he's one of those guys who is big time on speed. He kind of reminds me a little bit of James Robinson, only he's got a little more wiggle to him. So he's not a run to contact guy, so he might be able to like make his way into fantasy lineups because he's going to catch the ball out of the backfield and he's a pretty good runner too.
And we've been saying that since he came out of Clemson. He's had his shot, is my opinion.
What was the phrase during the Iowa State game that you loved? Less cargo, more?
Yeah, it was. Let me find it. It was less cargo, more horsepower.
Yeah. Great taste, less filling.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So sliding over from the East Coast to the West Coast, Rams backfield kind of in a similar situation. They lost Cam Akers. They're not bleeding guys, but they did trade for Sony Michel. Darrell Henderson is there. Isn't he banged up too?
Yeah, finger.
So what are you doing with the Rams backfield other than hoping that that they all suck tonight and figure it out next week?
I'm adding whoever I can. If I have Henderson, I'm adding Michelle, vice versa if I can. And not starting either of them and hoping maybe there's their front runner this week. Again, it's against the Bears who might shut them down, who has a decent defense. So you might not know much this week, but going forward, you just kind of want to see them play. I don't think I'm willing to start either of them.
I just hate Darrell Henderson. I don't think he's a very good running back. I think he's a plotter. Sony Michel, I think this could be the kind of new start that he needs to get going. I think that's a really good play if you pick him up. Just New England running backs just get screwed over in that system, especially fantasy wise. You're always trying to figure out what Belichick's going to do on any given week, and it never makes any sense. So I would think that Sony Michel would be like a good low leverage get. If you could find a way to pick him up or trade for him, I think that's a great move on your part to just make sure you get a guy who's going to get starting touches and is probably somebody that is on a roster nobody's very high on right now.
Yeah, and you got to remember when he came out of Georgia, he was in the backfield with Nick Chubb, and people were pretty much calling him very comparable at the time. So the talent is there. It was just the fact that Bill Belichick's going to do Bill Belichick kind of things, and then you're kind of stuck, playing guessing games there. Yeah, Deej, make up your mind who you want to be today.
Oh, he's frozen again.
Yeah, I know.
He just wants to give us all his frozen faces so he can make us laugh at him.
I should
We are
screenshot all of these. And
We are
using them.
laughing at you.
Just impossible. I'm having very many battles with the internet today.
I think the Bears' defense this year, Doug, is probably going to be middle of the pack, maybe even worse than that. I really think that Eddie Goldman could really change the fact that, since we're talking about these running backs, that they're going to be a major factor in this game. Maybe one of them gets a touchdown out of this game, but I would be more concerned about this wide receiver trio and the bad things they're going to do with the Bears, because they've got a Matt Stafford who can just get the ball out fast, and he's never had wide receivers this good before.
Yeah, I agree with that.
My dad and I were discussing this before the show. This could be a year where Stafford challenges.
Oh, he's definitely going to be a top 10 quarterback. You think he's top 5 maybe, DJ?
He could be. I mean, they definitely have the weapons. He's in an offense where they're going to let him just kind of chuck it and succeed. So, and they've got a good defense that's gonna win them games too.
My real question with Stafford is, how quickly is he going to pick up this offense? Because I feel like he's got the quarterback whisperer in his coach. Everybody loves what LA is able to do with their offensive players. They didn't have the quarterback that I think they needed before. Now they feel like they do, and he's a veteran. So is he going to be able to hit the ground running with this thing, or is it going to be like a first pull on like a lawnmower where you hear that little like sputter and it doesn't turn over?
So
he has the whole offseason. He's gonna be fine.
And the goofy thing is with this is Matthew Stafford's literally been working with this playbook since the day he got traded, because him and McVay were actually on vacation at the same resort when he got traded. And so they ended up getting together and talking and going over stuff. So you had a pretty good sense when they walked into training camp of what Matthew Stafford had absorbed and what he hadn't.
Nagy was there at that resort too.
Weird coincidence, huh?
I know, shocking. All right, Deej, you think you can actually do commercials this time?
Yeah, I'm gonna try without losing my mind to read all 5 of these commercials. Add the 2 that did not get in last time. So here we go. Sunday is still the best day at Kavanaugh's Hilltop Bar and Grill when their internet doesn't screw me. While your favorite Jamokes, well, just this Jamoke is back on the deck, they're still the best place in the Quad Cities for football watching pleasures. Their back deck is ready to go. And I got a TV behind me with the NFL Sunday Ticket going. If outside isn't your thing, you can head into the remodeled inside bar area and watch NFL Sunday Ticket on their numerous screens and play their adult video games. I hear they have the loosest slots in the Quad Cities. That's Kavanaugh's Hilltop Bar and Grill, 1228 30th Street in Rock Island, the home of For Fantasy's Sake. Football season is just underway, and if you spend Sundays watching football anywhere but Van's Pizza Pub and Grill, you're doing it wrong. Van's Pizza Pub and Grill, 3333 North Harrison Street in Davenport, is the best place to catch all your favorite games, and there's still time to make it part of your Sunday routine. Start your meal off with their famous McGuire's original nachos or bready nuggets, then ask about one of their original QC-style pizzas, or be your own quarterback and call an audible and create your own. The Van's crew will make sure your play call hits pay dirt every time. Van's Pizza Pub and Grill, 3333 North Harrison Street in Davenport. Come get served. With 5 locations within the Quad Cities area, Ray's Barbershop has provided first-class service, haircutting, and shave since 2010. Ray's Barbershop has been voted the Quad Cities' favorite barbershop year after year. Ray's takes tremendous pride in their work and in maintaining the fine art of classic meets modern barbering. Ray's goes above and beyond to make sure our clients' level of satisfaction is met. You won't find the Ray's experience anywhere else. Located in the Belgium neighborhood of 7th Street in Moline, Clint's Draft House Pizza and Grill is home of some of the Quad City's best food and drink specials. On Sundays, there's no better place to be. Clint's is serving up 75-cent wings and $4 Bloody Marys all day. And your favorite team playing in those out-of-market games? You'll never miss a second of the action on one of their 10 screens with NFL Sunday Ticket. And after you've had your wing and bloody fix, finish off your football watching experience with one of their famous Quad City-style pizzas. And folks, they know pizza. They've been spinning QC-style pies for the last 22 years. So make Clint's part of your Sunday football routine. Clint's Draft House Pizza and Grill, 7th Street in Moline. Who doesn't need a solid handcuff on their fantasy squad? Grab a bite to eat at Clint's Draft House while watching the noon games, and then head on over across the Moline Rock Island border to the Corner Tap for some libations during the 3 o'clock games. Every Sunday is fun day at the Corner with $3 Tall Boys, Bloody Marys, Jack Daniels, and $2 PBR drafts. Head into the Corner Tap, 4018 14th Avenue, Rock Island, and get into the end zone.
Satisfaction. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, satisfaction. It's kind of got me today. Just in from Shefty, we have no Zach Moss for the Bills against Pittsburgh. So that's an interesting turn of events there. It'd be interesting to see what they do behind Devin Singletary at running back.
Where are you at on Devin Singletary? Because I'm not a believer.
It's kind of like the situation in Baltimore. Their best running back plays quarterback, and so you're really and they've got a quarterback who likes to sling it. So you're really hoping that he gets a lot of touches between the 20s because he's not going to get end zone work, or he's not going to get the goal line carries, and there's not going to be a whole lot of dump offs. So. I'm kind of very light on him. I was big into him when he first came in because I thought, Buffalo doesn't have a guy, and this could be that guy for them. But he's done nothing, and he hasn't really had great opportunities. But like I said, they're gonna keep giving those carries to Josh Allen. So, but. I don't even know who their third running back is, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there today. Matt Breida is the answer to that.
Yeah.
He's fast on Madden.
I know all those guys, DJ. My thing is, I don't know who the beneficiary of this is. You think it's Josh Allen? Do you think he's going to get more of the goal line carries? Because I don't think I know he can do it. But do you want him to take those extra hits and things like that? He's your quarterback. He's your franchise quarterback too. So do you want Josh Allen to be out there taking those extra hits, or do you want to maybe throw more jump balls to Stephon Diggs? Who do you think benefits from this injury?
I mean, it'll definitely be Singletary because he will get more touches. But I think if I were a manager of a team where Devin Singletary is on the roster, I would kind of be afraid of the fact that that Matt Breida is the guy behind him, because Breida showed that flash that he can carry a team and he can carry an offense as the starting running back, and I think he's more of a threat to Singletary than Zach Moss has been.
What do you think about Dawson Knox? Is that going to be anything, because he's rostered in less than 3% of ESPN leagues? Do you think that maybe big guy around the end zone, maybe Josh Allen finds a new friend?
Yeah, I don't know, because it's a big thing. like I said, is he doesn't like to throw. Josh Allen doesn't like to throw underneath. He likes to go for the big shots. So unless they've kind of reined him in this season or this offseason, I think that you're still going to want your Stephon Diggs, your Gabriel Davises, and Cole Beasley kind of seems like that underneath slot guy for him.
Okay, I can see that.
Oh, yes, that's on me. I'm busy setting lineups over here.
That's okay, Doug. We're all setting lineups. You know it.
I don't even know what segment we're in. All right, 10:30 to 10:30.
We already talked about a non-existent tight end, Doug. Come on.
All right, great. Yes, Dawson Knox. Yes, I heard that. Okay, cool. All right, ranking segment. All right, let's do that. That'll be fun. All right, let's do that. Let's take a look at some of DJ's rankings and tell him how wrong that he is, because those are always the best times. All right. Week 1 ranks: Patty Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Josh Allen. Allen's too low. Russell, Rodgers. Hurts that high. I've seen a lot of folks that are iffy on Jalen Hurts. What do you feel good about him, Deej?
I just think Atlanta's defense is garbage, and so it gives them an opportunity to start this season off on a hot game. As far as Allen being low, I think Pittsburgh is a really good matchup. I think that their defense is really good, and those 3 quarterbacks in front of him are also elite guys. So it's easy to knock him down to 4 there.
And Trevor Lawrence making his debut as a QB1. Is that just because of the Houston factor?
It's the Houston factor. It's the fact that I don't think they'll run the ball. He's on the next screen. Jordan, calm down. I think that there'll be a little less running than I had initially thought. So that's another place where there's a lot of good weapons, and I'd like to see them let Lawrence loose and kind of see what he can do.
Justin Herbert might be a good play because he's going against the Washington Huskies, and I don't know that they're an NFL team.
No, they didn't look very good against Michigan last night.
You know I love you, DJ.
What did I say wrong?
You're at Washington.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is Washington not existent?
Okay.
All right, Jameis. You really got Jameis at 14? You are on crack.
Dude, I love me some Jameis Winston. We went over this last week, and I think especially in 6-point touchdown leagues, I think that he's a guy who could carry teams.
Jameis Winston is cocaine, DJ. You're going to get a lot accomplished with it, but you're not going to have a good time afterwards. There's going to be consequences that come with it.
It's a great take there, Chris.
I know.
There you go,
you
Jordan.
Didn't know you'd get my cocaine ranking today.
There, Jordan, there.
I killed Doug, DJ.
You did. I think the player I'm most intrigued by this week is I'm really looking at that that Miami New England game. I want to see what Mac Jones has got, and obviously I'm a big Tua fan, so
I'm a big Tua fan too, but I don't know that the Miami Dolphins are, and that's the part that gets in my head a lot. Is that feels like he's a guy who was playing with an injury last year, and they couldn't wait to pin all the blame on everything that he did. So yeah. I feel like there's nowhere to go but up for him. It's just whether or not that team actually believes in him or is going to allow him to ascend.
They made a really good point on the radio this morning is we're kind of in that situation where there's a lot of young quarterbacks that you're wondering if they're not good this year, what's going to happen to their career. And I know that that the response always is, and they even said this, the response to that is they're young, they'll jump on. Yeah, what's Josh Rosen doing right now?
Yeah. Josh Rosen's on his 5th team in 4 years, something like that, probably.
He's chilling like a villain. All right, moving on to running backs because I have a lot of problems with Christian McCaffrey versus the shitty Jets at 2. He should be number 1 with a bullet.
I don't think that he was a guy
I know you don't think.
We're what?
Doesn't think.
We're ranking him at his ceiling and the fact that he got 100% of the touches every game of his entire career at running back. And that's not going to be the case this year. I don't think that's the case this year. And I think that's going to be a Kamara role where all of the running back touches are going to be his because they cut everybody with experience behind him. I don't even know who Tony Jones Jr. is. And Kamara is also their best pass catcher. And that's not the case for Christian McCaffrey. I think that the Alvin Kamara is going to be the RB1 this year.
Actually, I'd argue that McCaffrey is their best pass catcher.
DJ Moore, question with you.
He only likes DJ Moore because his name is DJ. That's it.
I agree with
That's
you.
it.
Yes, that's true.
I think that even though Green Bay's defense is probably going to be awful again this year, they could probably try to take away one guy. And other than Alvin Kamara, who else on that offense scares you? Jameis, just from our previous conversation.
That's a different type
But
of.
yeah, that's a different type of scares you. So who do you go to if they take away Alvin Kamara? They say they have 3 guys standing around him. Who's the next guy you go to?
Right.
DJ doesn't know how to answer.
Adam Troutman.
Oh,
And he's gone.
he's gone. Bye,
Never been
DJ.
back. Okay, well, that's all the more reason for us to make fun of the rest of these.
Oh, he came back now. We were just gonna mock you some more, DJ. Don't worry.
No, it was like blowing my cell phone speaker, so my cell phone's very important to me.
You were doing what on your speaker?
Yeah.
My cell phone speaker was like staticky. It was weird.
I got some of that.
Okay, sure.
So
Right.
Najee Harris, you're completely sold on him, right, DJ? I liked what I saw from him in the preseason, but we haven't seen him in live snaps. You're already got him in the top 10?
Is it me or is it Chris that's being roboty?
No, that's you. He sounds perfectly fine to me.
Interesting.
Sound amazing, DJ.
I think Najee Harris is one of those guys where he's going to get a lot of the opportunity. I think that's what you look at in these top 12 rankings, especially at running back, are guys who are going to get the opportunity.
People are so high on Antonio Gibson. Is it just a bad matchup? Because that Chargers defense, from what I remember last year, might have been one of the worst groups in the league.
They got Derwin James back, where I think that's a big deal. Hasn't played really in 2 years because he keeps getting hurt. But
Yeah.
I think that he's definitely going to significantly improve that defense.
Yeah, and Bosa's been hurt a lot too. So at least week 1 he's healthy. We'll see.
So week 1, they're good. The rest of the weeks, downplay them big time. Yeah.
We'll see how it goes from there. All right, moving on to the next set. Saquon at 13. I think that might be the lowest he's ever been ranked in his life.
One more time, Saquon.
Saquon ranked low. What you gonna do, DJ? Why?
Again, Denver defense good. Didn't know if he was going to play. That was a big thing. So when you're setting your lineup, had no clue if he was even going to be cleared. Wasn't even cleared till late last night.
But still.
Still, why don't you do the rankings, Doug?
No.
He's already mad.
I much prefer this version where you do all the hard work and I just tell you how wrong you are.
Saquon, you're right, Doug.
Yeah.
I think with Saquon that you kind of have to put the brakes on him a little bit until you see that he's Saquon again. At least week 1, I kind of get where DJ's going with this because you want to see Saquon be Saquon. And then once you have that information in front of you that he's back, then throw him back in the top 10 full throttle again.
Okay, I'll give you that's fair. Mostert might be a little bit more stock up than 15 just because Trey Sermon is officially out today. With that just came through on Shefty Bob.
Obviously I did not know that when I did these.
You need to anticipate these things.
I know.
I just can't say his name. Is Raheem Mostert?
Yes,
Chris, do not say that.
Moisture?
Moisture. Yes, moisture.
Okay. I got it on the last one. Got one, guys.
Yes. So Trey Sermon at 30. You can pull him out of those ranks. He's now out there. Zach Moss at 35 also gone in there. Javonte Williams feels awful low at 27. And Gordon right behind him, I feel that's bad.
That's my fence sitting of the week, Doug. I'm curious before I trust starting them more than an RB3/flex. I want to know more what they're going to do. And the Giants defense.
You can't say about the no. Because you can't say on the first screen, giving Najee Harris the 8th spot, saying he's going to get all the touches, and then you've got Javonte Williams, who's going to get all the touches against a worse defense at 27.
Is he going to
discount Melvin Gordon?
Yes, he's going to get all the touches. Gordon's not going to be a thing.
Okay. Oh, I think DJ froze again.
Mark it down.
It was DJ froze again in his mid sneeze. Look at that.
I know.
I'm with you, Doug. I think Javonte Williams is going to be the primary guy, but I think you have to see that until it happens. Because Vic Fangio is a head coach in name, but he's defensive coach. So what is really going to happen with that offense is left up to a person that I can't even name. I'm sure if I hear the name, I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. But I don't know who it is. So I'm not going to trust it until I see more. One guy that I am not as high on as everybody else, and he's actually on my team, is Nyheim Hines. And I was a big Nyheim Hines supporter until last year when he broke out. Because now I think people assume that there's another step for Nyheim Hines to take. And I don't know what that is. Because I think last year is maxed out as good as he can be. And if that's as good as he can be, he's a replacement level guy on your team. He's a guy to fill in a gap when you need to. He's a bye week guy, but I don't think he's a guy that you want actively to be in your lineup.
I think the thing that would make me nervous is they just gave him a contract extension.
Jonathan Taylor's still on that team, right?
No, I realize that, but they just gave Nyheim Hines and they brought Marlon Mack back. So I'm kind of curious what they're feeling.
Mack back, DJ.
I'm kind of curious what their feelings towards Jonathan Taylor really are.
So you think that they're not buying it yet?
Yeah, I do.
Where was he in your rankings, DJ?
I believe top 12. I think
DJ.
He'll get the touches this week.
But Javonte Williams won't. Okay, so we're going to cut it right there because we need to go to commercial break if DJ can maintain himself for 90 seconds. And then on the backside, we will do wide receivers, tight ends, and inactives.
Bad Boys isn't hard to find. Now serving in 3 different locations: Moline, Davenport, and downtown Davenport at River Music Experience. The restaurant and bar stays open late, not only on weekends, but weekdays too. Bad Boys specializes in Quad City style pizza and daily specials, so be sure to keep an eye out for those. They also offer food carryout and pizza delivery options at your convenience. They have a full bar at all 3 locations with 24 taps in Moline, 32 taps in Davenport, and 20 in downtown Davenport. They also have exciting events such as Quad City Storm events, NFL Sunday ticket giveaways, and other sports viewing parties. Bad Boys always has the coldest beer, and the atmosphere is always welcoming. For great people, drinks, and Quad City style pizza, choose Bad Boys. Durham Remodeling has been serving the Quad Cities area since 1973. With nearly 50 years of excellence on their track record, you'll see why it's so easy to trust their experts when it comes to all your home improvement projects. Durham Remodeling's work is a 100% guaranteed, so you can rest assured that you're getting the best service around. Call 309-786-6715 for all your roofing, siding, flooring, windows, and painting needs. That's Durham Remodeling, 309-786-6715. It's Sunday Fun Day over at Frick's Tap. Iowa's second oldest bar is guaranteed to have your favorite team on one of their 13 TVs with NFL Sunday ticket. Get into Frick's now, where they will be joined by Smoked Out Smokehouse every Sunday. And boy, does that menu look great. Barbecue smoked ribs, pork chops, wings, you name it, you can get it during your football game over at Frick's. So for Frick's sake, head into Frick's, 1402 West 3rd Street, Davenport.
I'm going to make a joke, and neither one of you are old enough to get it, but...
DJ, do it anyway, Doug. That's the show.
I know. He said menu, which means And then I immediately heard "Nanu" from Mork and Mindy. Which
I thought you were gonna go Manute Bull.
No. Nanu,
DJ,
Nanu.
why'd you punch Rest Assured? Did you mess that up last week or something? Oh, he's gone.
He's gone. Well, at least he got through the commercial breaks.
Got a picture of DJ though. It's delightful.
It is delightful.
He keeps changing locations though. I think he's actually a spy. Oh, he's back.
It's awful. I have full bars here, but streaming.
Yeah.
All right. Back to the rankings.
Definitely full bar.
Complete bar. I mean, all the liqueurs he wants.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So week 1 rankings here. Of course, he's got Tyreek Hill way overranked with that there. I would argue Devontae Adams versus New Orleans.
Or just hates the internet.
would be a better number. Would be a better number 1 there. I could even let you do Calvin Ridley against Philly as the number 1 spot. Actually, DK Metcalf would be my choice. Get that against that Indy defense.
I don't know. I love Indy's defense. I don't know their corners very well, but the pass rush is good enough that I think it's going to limit his chances a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Devontae Adams.
Jefferson. What do we think about Justin Jefferson this year? You think he has a sophomore slump?
I think everybody wants to say that he's going to have a sophomore slump, and I think at the end of the year, we're going to say he has a sophomore slump just because he was so good last year. There's no way he can live up to it again. If he's the same wide receiver he was last year, I would be happy with that. I would be ecstatic.
I think everybody would.
But I think no matter what he does, unless he's Randy Moss out there, we're going to say it was a sophomore slump. And I feel like that's an impossible thing to follow. I feel like he's going to get a lot more attention too. And because he's going to get that attention, that's going to free things up for Adam Thielen even more. So I think Adam Thielen will be the one that kind of surprises people this year, whereas Justin Jefferson can do nothing but subvert expectations because our expectations of him are so high. And the Devontae Adams thing, I like Devontae Adams a lot. I think he deserves to be in that top 5. I don't like this matchup, though, because New Orleans corners are probably the best in the league.
Okay. Fair enough. I see he's got Bobby Trees at 10. I feel like that's pretty high. I don't think we've ever seen a Rams wide receiver that high before. So I feel like that one's a little high. And, of course, he's spent sitting by putting Allen Robinson at 12. Going the other way there. But I feel like 12 is legit for my boy.
I think Allen Robinson goes down this year, mostly because he was Mitch Trubisky's blankie.
Yes.
Yeah. And so Mitch, anytime he got into trouble, was looking for Allen Robinson. Now we don't know who that guy is going to be for Andy Dalton. We don't know who that guy is going to be for Justin Fields. We need to find out more about how this Bears offense is even going to look, because through the preseason, it looked like trash. So there is no way to have any idea what this offense is going to look like tonight. And everybody's already hurt, which is fantastic because you didn't play anyone in the preseason and everyone is hurt already. How does that even happen? The Bears are the most frustrating team in the NFL. There's no way around it because it used to be the Jaguars, but the Jaguars can't even have that anymore because they're new and exciting.
I would think that our boy Jordan would tell you that his Vikings are the most frustrating team in the NFL, but
at least the Vikings can beat the teams that are dumber than them. The Bears can't even beat the teams that are dumber than them now.
Fair enough. All right. Anything else on here that looks out of place? Nothing too crazy on that next set.
Well, with Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins, DJ's kind of fence-sitting there a little bit too. But at the same time, I love T. Higgins. I think he's incredible. Where is Jamar Chase going to fall in that order here too?
Now he's got him at 28.
He was non-existent in the preseason. He had like 2 catches on screens. So are they protecting him? Do they think he hasn't picked up the offense yet? Or are they waiting to just spring him on people?
Well, so he can't catch.
He can't catch, DJ?
But no, like that's the thing that happened in the preseason. But I think he's going to be an above average to elite route runner in the NFL, and eventually, like those catches are going to come. I think that he gets enough targets in this season that he's going to put up decent numbers because just of his ability to run routes.
So you think he's Jerry Jeudy rookie year? Is that what the expectation should be?
Maybe probably a little bit better just because his quarterback's better, but yeah.
I don't know, because Jerry Jeudy was a good wide receiver who had emerging wide receivers around him, but with the Bengals, you look at it and there's two amazing wide receivers around Chase right now. So how's he going to get those touches other than when they're trying to draw up plays specifically for him?
Because he's playing with his college quarterback, who I think is going to hunt him.
It's a great point, DJ. That's the only time I'm going to say that all season. You're welcome.
Man,
that's all right. Rule. You might say it again at some point, but the internet will kick me off, so I won't even hear it.
But I'll have that picture of your face that's frozen in time, so I can longingly touch it.
All right, we need to buzz through some of the stuff before we can get to the next break. So Odell Beckham at 25 is way wrong, but I'm not going to go into that. We'll move over here to the tight ends. Of course, Travis Kelce is number 1, which is also incorrect. That should be George Kittle up top against the crappy Lions. We talked earlier, Mark Andrews stock up with that running game all beaten up there. I'd probably have Hawk down a little bit more. I am interested to see what Kyle Pitts can do in his first game there. Otherwise, I don't have a lot of complaints about this list, other than half of them.
People love Kyle Pitts, so I mean, I don't think he can live up to the expectation no matter what he does. And Goddard last year was kind of Aaron Rodgers' guy for a little bit there. That really boosted up his numbers, but they kind of fell in and out of love there too. So I think it's going to be hit or miss with Robert Tonyan this year.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, especially since they've got back Randall Cobb.
Had to get him back. Had to.
Yeah. Like, do you want me to try and blow through these inactives real quick?
Let's do that on the other side.
Okay, so I'm going to blow through these commercials.
Both? Yes.
DJ's excellent at blowing.
Yes, that's the truth.
Wait, what?
Huh?
All right.
With 5 locations located within the Quad Cities area, Ray's Barbershop has provided first-class service, haircutting, and shave since 2010. Ray's Barbershop has been voted the Quad Cities' favorite barbershop year after year. Ray's takes tremendous pride in their work and in maintaining the fine art of classic meets modern barbering. Ray's goes above and beyond to make sure our clients' level of satisfaction. I can't say that word. We're going to change that. But we're going to make sure that's met. You won't find Ray's experience anywhere else. Located in the Belgium neighborhood of 7th Street and Moline. Everybody, there's a word that everybody can't say. Mine is just satisfaction. Okay, it gets on the tip of my tongue, and I just can't satisfy with the tip of my tongue.
It's satisfaction, not satisfaction.
Yeah, satisfaction.
Continue.
Located in the Belgium neighborhood of 7th Street and Moline, Clint's Draft House Pizza and Grill is home to some of the Quad Cities' best food and drink specials. On Sundays, there's no better place to be. Clint's is serving up 75-cent wings and $4 Bloody Marys all day. And your favorite team playing in those out-of-market games, you'll never miss a second of the action on one of their 10 screens with NFL Sunday Ticket. And after you've had your wing and bloody fix, finish your football watching experience with one of their famous Quad City style pizzas. And folks, they know pizza. They've been spinning QC style pies for the last 22 years. So make Clint's part of your Sunday football routine. Clint's Draft House Pizza and Grill, 7th Street in Moline. Who doesn't need a solid handcuff on their fantasy squad? Grab a bite to eat at Clint's Draft House while watching the noon games, and then head on over across the Rock Island Moline border to the corner tap for some libations during the 3 o'clock games. Every Sunday is Sunday Fun Day at the corner with $3 Tall Boys, Bloody Marys, Jack Daniels, and $2 PBR drafts. Head into the corner tap, 4018 14th Avenue, Rock Island, and get into the end zone.
All right. Más bueno.
What's up?
Go very quick. But we'll let that go. All right. So, do you need me to vamp for satisfaction? Do you need me to vamp for a couple of minutes while you work on the inactives?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
So, out for the Jaguars, Trey Herndon. The Texans will be without Lonnie Johnson. No official word on Austin Eckler yet for the Chargers. I'm going to assume because we haven't heard anything and we're an hour from game time that he will play.
Eckler? That's Chargers. Yeah. Never mind. Okay. I was thinking. I always think he's on the Rams for some reason.
So I'm assuming Eckler is up because we've not heard anything. Josh Reynolds out, Anthony Miller out, Keelan Cole out. Obviously, we talked about how Zach Moss, Trey Sermon both out, LaMichael P. Ryan out, Dwayne Haskins inactive, Gardner Minshew inactive, Kellen Mond inactive. So it looks like everybody is good to go that was on that questionable list. Again, no story on Austin Eckler, Quentin Nelson, Manny Sanders. You do have in those late games, Beckham and Nelson Aguilar are both questionable. So you want to take a look at that around 2 o'clock and see if they said anything on them. I guess that's where you go from there.
Are you buying Nelson Aguilar this season, or is that a guy that you think now that he's got a contract is going to disappear again?
Yes, I think he benefited a lot last year from playing with Derek Carr, who was the third most accurate deep ball passer in the NFL last year. And going to the offense in New England where they haven't really been known outside of that season with Randy Moss to be a team that was really just going to go out and chuck it. Granted, they had Tom Brady, who just wanted to get the ball out quick. So it could change with Mac Jones. But Mac Jones seemed to like Jacoby Myers a lot more. He's gonna target tight ends. So Aguilar's a guy I wouldn't mind having on my bench, but I don't know that he's a guy that I'm willing to start in week 1.
Yeah, I think Jacoby Myers is like a low-key guy who's going to surprise a lot of people this year.
Yeah, he's sneaky. He's a sneaky play.
He's a what?
Sneaky.
Doug keeps getting offered Jacoby Myers, turning it down.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. All right. They broke up the games a little bit extra. Isn't there like more afternoon games today for whatever reason?
Yeah, usually we fall more in those morning, and I think there's a handful, but like I said, we obviously with this being week 1,
lean more towards
known the guys,
time. Lean more towards prime time games.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Start your studs.
Yeah, obviously if Barkley was going to play. I've seen a lot of people on social media. Oh, do I play Saquon Barkley? Yeah, you play him. You start your studs unless you have Sammy Watkins, and you definitely dial him up because apparently he only plays week 1 because he'll be injured every other day this year.
That's true.
Yeah.
Why
don't we go ahead?
As far as inactives go, I want your take on this, DJ, because I am not as tapped in as you are. So, say I have a player named Swift on my team who may have been accused of murdering somebody or knowing about a murder this week. Should I be concerned about DeAndre Swift?
No, and I think it was irresponsible for a lot of the people who were throwing that out there this week because it was started on a Reddit thread, and I guess it is fairly credible that he was named by a private person, but like he's gonna play, and I don't think you're gonna see in a situation where he plays a game in Philadelphia and all of a sudden they arrest him before the game. Like I just don't see that as a
they're going to get him a halftime, DJ. They know where he is.
Yeah.
They're
going to come arrest him at halftime. I just don't see that happening.
It's not funny but it's just so bizarre that it got so much traction, and the fact that it sounds like it turned out to be a big nothing. Like it was like it wasn't even like really going to go anywhere at any point. But everybody picked it up. Everybody was talking about it, and there was nobody who was like actually a big name willing to weigh in on it and be like, this is nothing, because they don't want to look bad.
Right. Not as if it's a huge difference. Steelers linebacker Robert Spillane suffered a shin injury during pregame warmups and is now out against the Bills. So if you're in an IDP league or it's going to affect your starting Dawson Knox or Devin Singletary, there you have it. Robert Spillane will not play.
Dawson Knox might get rostered in 5% of leagues now.
It might be an interesting DFS play. And starting next week, we will have a DFS guy who will take part in the show to kind of give you guys a little bit of looks. If you are a DFS guy, I'm by no means an expert, but I'm talking to a guy who does consider himself fairly competent in this field. Minnesota and Cincinnati is an interesting game to stack because not a whole lot of defense will probably be played in that game. So you're looking at your Cooks, Mixons, Jeffersons. I would definitely not be afraid of taking Cousins or Burrow to stack with a receiver there or running back.
What did you kind of think about DeMarcus Lawrence in that first game? Because I didn't think he was going to do as many bad things to Tristan Wirfs as he did, because Wirfs was great last year. And maybe I'm just more leaning on reputation than seeing him up close because I'm not watching those Washington games. But he was really great last year, and Lawrence made him look terrible.
D-Law is crazy good. So there's no shame in getting your butt whooped by him. So,
I mean, I know he's good, but I've never seen him be a game wrecker like that. Is that kind of just a week one thing where he's going to be as fresh as he's going to be and not nicked up, and he's just doing bad things to people and playing at a level he's going to end up plateauing a little bit, or what's going on there?
I think you're kind of entering this revamp of the Cowboys defense where they actually have some other players to kind of take the idea off him, because you didn't know from play to play what Micah Parsons was doing. And I think that having a linebacker like that who can stop the run, can rush the passer, can drop into coverage, that was doing a lot of different stunts early in the game, I think that opens up some windows for Lawrence.
So with that being said, with Micah Parsons being that guy, and I forgot, Dan Quinn is there as a defensive coordinator now. Dan Quinn is very good as a defensive coordinator, and he's one of the dumbest head coaches I've ever seen. But he's a good defensive coordinator. Building off the Parsons thing, do you think that Isaiah Simmons is going to be one of the best players in the league this year?
Dude, I love Isaiah Simmons, and I know that this is kind of a Chris love too, because
he's fast, DJ.
Huh?
He's fast in Madden.
No, I just love having him on Madden. He's just so interchangeable in so many different spots, and so I love having him in Madden. But I think that he could have been Rookie of the Year last year because he can play so many positions. He can play, linebacker, safety, defense.
Yep.
And a faster version of.
We're gonna lose you again, DJ.
He's a faster version of somebody.
He's fast. He's definitely fast. With those guys, I think it takes a year or two to kind of find the right spot for them. There's very few instances, other than I think Urlacher, and you can probably remind me, Doug, too, where he came into the league as fast guy who plays a certain position, and then they moved him to middle linebacker, and he just excelled. And it took him a while. It took towards the end of the year before Urlacher was the player that we were all like, wow, this guy is a game changer.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to determine if Deej is.
Nope, he's back. I think.
No.
Nope, he's lost in thought.
Yeah. He's sounding out words again.
I like the way that he looks so majestic right there. He's like staring off into the distance. This is his album cover right there.
It
We're just
is.
gonna put something right over him. It's gonna be an album cover. Oh, I almost said Alvin cover. That's bad.
Yeah, his Alvin and the Chipmunks cover.
I know. He's gonna cover all their songs. You're back, DJ.
Yeah, something. I don't know what's happening here.
You're good.
But do you wish you had a hula hoop?
Hulu has live sports.
I hear that.
Yes. That's what Baker Mayfield tells me.
One thing I was kind of thinking about from the Thursday night game too, do you think Mike Evans is kind of over at this point? Because as angry as I am at the Bears for not having played a game yet and being injured, Mike Evans played a game, was barely a factor in it, and looked injured. He had an entire offseason to not be injured anymore. And I love the guy for being a gamer. He played all last year, even though he was banged up, and we could all see he was banged up. But he's back again, and he's banged up, and he hasn't played any games. What's going on?
I just think that's Mike Evans. I think that the last couple of years, he's been this guy who he's either going to put up 30 points for you, or he's going to put up 3. And that's what you got this week is his week of 3. And he's one of those guys who I feel like you want to trade more than you want to start him because he's just not good. I mean, he's good. You just can't afford to start a guy who's going to get 3 points any given week.
Do you think the name is enough to still be able to trade him at this point? Because I think a lot of people are seeing the same things that we're seeing.
You wait till he has one of those boom games.
Or maybe 2 boom games in a row.
Yeah, and people will think he's back.
You could be right.
The unfortunate thing is everybody you play with and I play with are probably watching this thing. So
I know, and that's why it feels like we need a dumb guy in our leagues, DJ, so we know what dumb guys think.
That's why we invited Kyle, but he didn't show up.
You're right.
I thought DJ was the dumb guy in the league.
All
right, let's stop there.
DJ is the dumb guy in the league. He took a shot at Malort. Facts. All right, Doug, you're going to transition.
Yeah. Let's do the transition. Let's get that. Cousin Bo's sending in a bunch of questions, so we can get into those once we're on the other side of commercials. DJ, hit it.
I don't know about you guys, but questions are my favorite part of the show. Bad Boys Pizza isn't hard to find. Now serving in 3 different locations: Moline, Davenport, and downtown Davenport at River Music Experience. Their restaurant and bar stays open late, not only on the weekends, but weekdays too. Bad Boys specialize in Quad City style pizza and daily specials, so be sure to keep an eye out for those. They also offer food carryout and pizza delivery options at your convenience. They have a full bar at all 3 locations with 24 taps in Moline, 32 taps in Davenport, and 20 in downtown Davenport. They also host exciting events such as Quad City Storm events, NFL Sunday ticket giveaways, and other sports viewing parties. Bad Boys always has the coldest beer, and the atmosphere is always welcoming. For great people, drinks, and Quad City style pizza, choose Bad Boys. Durham Remodeling has been serving the Quad Cities area since 1973. With nearly 50 years of excellence on their track record, you'll see why it's so easy to trust their experts when it comes to all your home improvement projects. Durham Remodeling's work is 100% guaranteed, so you can rest assured that you're getting the best service around. Call 309-786-6715 for all your roofing, sidings, flooring, windows, and painting needs. That's Durham Remodeling, 309-786-6715. It's Sunday Fun Day over at Frick's Tap. Iowa's second oldest bar is guaranteed to have your favorite team on one of their 13 TV screens with NFL Sunday Ticket. Get on into Frick's now, where they will be joined by Smoked Out Smokehouse every Sunday. And boy, does that menu look great. Barbecue smoked ribs, pork chops, wings, you name it, you can get it during your football game over at Frick's. So for Frick's sake, head into Frick's, 1402 West 3rd Street, Davenport.
Excellente. Yes, love me some barbecue, which we've already established several times on the show. All right, let's go from the top. We'll just take Cousin Bo's here out of the chat. From the top, TD heavy, 2 flex spots. Carson, Damian Harris, Deontay Johnson, Laviska Shenault, Tyson Williams.
Carson and Deontay.
Yeah, that's my feeling too. If you want to gamble and go with Laviska instead of Deontay, I wouldn't hate you for that. All right, next one. Non-PPR 2 RB spots, Chubb, Gibson, Damian Harris. I got to say that's got to be the first two.
Yeah, first two.
Yeah, definitely.
And then non-PPR wide receiver 3 spots, Diggs, Brian Edwards, Galladay, Deontay Johnson, Marvin Jones, Pittman, Debo, and Laviska.
Diggs, Deontay, sure.
And who's your third one?
Whoever you think's more likely to score. Galladay.
Diggs, Deontay Johnson, and let's keep it with Shenault.
I was going to go Diggs, Debo, Laviska. So let's just go all D's. I'll go Diggs, Deontay, and Debo. Cousins or Mayfield today?
Yuck.
Cousins.
Mayfield.
Who do the Vikings have? The Vikings have the Bengals. I'm going to go Cousins there. I want to say Baker, but I'm thinking Cousins is the way to go. And then lastly, PPR, 2 spots. Hunt, McKissick, Miles Sanders, James White, Jordan Wilkins. Sanders and Hunt?
I think James White is going to inherit a lot of work since they got rid of Sony Michel.
Yeah, Sanders and White.
I can live with that. All right, moving on. Where are the next segment of questions over here on the Google Doc? Jake Dare wants to know 1 wide receiver and 1 flex. T. Higgins, Devontae Smith, Tyson Williams, Marvin Jones, DeAndre Swift. I bet we're going to get a lot of Tyson Williams questions today.
Higgins, Swift.
Yeah, I would go Higgins Swift there too. I love those.
I kind of want to go Devontae Swift, but I'm not going to argue over Higgins and Swift there. Kyle Garrisher, my quarterbacks suck, and DJ talked me out of drafting Trevor Lawrence 101 in Dynasty. That's why you don't listen to him. Who should I start? Fitzmagic, Jimmy G, Tyrod, or Carr? Fitzmagic probably gives you the highest ceiling there. And Carr probably, and Jimmy G probably is the one who gives you the best floor. So I'm probably going to go those two if you're going to mix and match.
I'll take Fitzmagic.
I would go with Carr. I think that Fitzmagic has a good year and then bad year, and this is going to be the bad year.
Fair.
All right. Next one is Lucas Conger? Sorry. Don't know. Who's my RB2 this week? James Conner, Rashard Penny, Malcolm Brown, or Tony Jones?
I think with that crew, you want some kind of assurance that they're going to get some touches. And I think Connor's the person I feel most confident that's going to get touches.
I think it's definitely James Conner. I know that Lucas is a Steelers fan, so he has some PTSD from when Conner was on the Steelers, but you got to go with Conner here.
Okay. You guys talked me into it. I was thinking Jones, but we'll go Conner. All right. Robbie Anderson or Courtland Sutton?
Anderson.
Anderson had too good a year last year.
Okay.
What do you think, Doug?
Next one. Jordan Rangel has 3 here. Singletary or Javonte as the RB2? Singletary with no Moss behind him, or
Right.
Javonte?
Singletary. You highlighted the reason, Doug.
Yep. Higgins or Juju? Higgins.
Juju.
Higgins.
Chase, Chark, or Mostert?
Chark.
Mostert. There's guaranteed touches there.
Give me Chase just for upside. All right, Cousin Bo, TD heavy pick, TD heavy.
We already
Pick
answered the defense.
Okay. All right. Well then, the also commas are necessary, Donald. All right. So that is the questions. I guess that takes us on to rapid fire. You got 9 minutes worth of rapid fires in here. Sure, why not? All right. First one up. Top week 1 quarterback.
Patty.
Lamar, I think he goes nuts with no running backs.
Want to say
Doug, are you whistling the Wicked Witch theme while you try to figure out which quarterback you want? I thought I caught a hint of that in there.
I don't know what it is. I just whistle something.
Okay.
Give me Lamar. Give me Lamar in there.
Thanks, Doug.
Yeah, no problem.
It was worth the wait, Doug.
Yep. Top scoring wide receiver in Seahawks Colts. That's got to be DK, right?
Yeah, I would go DK. But Doug, you're the Galladay guy. What are you doing?
No, I'm the Lockett guy.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
But still, I'm going against my guy.
I know. That's why I'm sad.
More fantasy points, James Robinson or David Johnson and Philip Lindsay. Give me James Robinson there.
Yeah, definitely James Robinson.
I know we kind of touched on this last week, but now that you're actually setting lineups this week, are you willing to start anybody in Houston?
Not until you see it. You gotta see it.
Brandon Cooks is the only guy I'm coming anywhere near.
And do you want to see it against a real team, or is the Jacksonville Jaguars enough of a real team to trust
Who do you
it?
pick in that game, DJ? If you're picking games, who do you pick?
I think I picked the Jags.
I took Houston because they're at home. This is my only basis for that decision. And I also think that the Jaguars coach is a moron.
Yeah, but the Jaguars have the better quarterback.
You're right, but their coach is also a moron, so.
That's true. He might fake a heart attack at halftime if they're down by like 14.
No, his back always hurts. And then he takes medication that makes him forget things.
Kyle Pitts over under 12 PPR points.
Over.
Under.
Now, Chris, do you play any tight end premium leagues, or are you just kind of pretty standard?
I'm standard, and I do have Kyle Pitts on one of my rosters. I had to take a shot to get him, DJ. You should remember.
I don't.
Oh, yeah, I know. Me neither.
And it's non-PPR, so it's a fake league.
Oh, thanks, bud.
No problem.
You're in it.
I know.
Austin Eckler over under 33.5 receiving yards. Let's go under.
Over.
Yeah, I could see over.
Most rushing yards in Pittsburgh Buffalo.
You like the switch up instead of wheel of Steelers receivers here?
No.
That's got to be Najee Harris, right?
Pittsburgh. Oh, I thought we were picking one team or the other, which one would outrush the other one. But yeah, I'll take Najee Harris.
Yeah, that seems fair. Top week 1 wideout.
Tyreek. I didn't even get to talk about Tyreek earlier.
Yeah, there was a reason for that. Gimme. Chris, go ahead. Well, I go gimme.
Let's go with Diggs.
Doug's going to think really hard and then say Diggs.
It's week 1, Doug. Come on. You know who you're going to say. It's going to be Sammy Watkins, right?
Week 1 Watkins.
Give me week 1, Brandon Ayuk.
Ooh, Doug.
Lions can't cover nobody. All right. More snaps at QB for San Francisco, Lance or Jimmy G? I bet you they split that right down the middle.
I'm going to say Jimmy G.
Yeah, Jimmy G will get it in there.
If it's close, it's probably Jimmy because they'll want to lean on a veteran in the fourth quarter.
They'll need somebody who can definitely run their 2-minute drill.
Yeah. More rushing yards, Mixon or Cook. That's Cook.
Cook.
Yeah, Cook.
Sammy Darnold, over under 249 and a half passing yards against the Jets. We suck ass.
Over.
Over.
Yeah, over.
Top week 1 running back.
Tomorrow.
I'm going to go with Dalvin.
Derrick Henry.
You just said a little bit ago it should be Christian McCaffrey. You hypocrite.
Him too.
It's called Hippogriff, DJ.
Yes. More total touchdowns, Kyler or Tannehill?
Tannehill.
I'll go with Murray.
Kyler. Chiefs. Most catches in KC Cleveland.
Kelsey.
I was going to say Kelsey so DJ couldn't. I want somebody not Chiefs. Let's say Odell has a game where he's Odell again.
See, I was going to say Landry no matter what. So.
There you go. The solid guy.
Roll Tide, more passing yards, Tua or Mac Jones. That's got to be Tua.
Agreed.
I think Mac Jones. I don't think the Patriots run the ball enough to make that happen.
What the actual hell is this question, Donald? More rushing yards, Teddy Two Gloves or Daniel Jones?
Daniel Jones by a mile.
Daniel
Jones only gets tackled by ghosts.
Yeah. Week 1 tight end, that has got to be Kittle. I said it was Kittle, but I don't remember my reasoning, but I'm still going with Kittle.
Hate Kelsey.
Oh, we'll go Waller. We'll just name all the guys that are actually good at tight end.
I hope it's all 3 of them. I hope they tie for the best week.
We need to go back and look at how we did the previous week so we can mock each other more.
That's true, but none of us wants to put in that effort.
Aw. It'd take like 15 minutes.
You're the only one that doesn't have a real job now because you work from home. The only one that works from home as of tomorrow.
It's true.
Trust me, I have a real job.
Right now I'm unemployed.
Just because I work out of my basement.
I feel like I did very well on the wheel of Cowboys wide receivers last week when I said Amari Cooper was going to play well.
Yeah. I probably took Gallup like an idiot.
You did.
Well, he was a good at that third down catch. That was huge. And then he left forever.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Rodgers over under 279.5 passing yards.
It's still a lot, and they're going to run the ball. So, I mean, yeah.
Aaron Donald over under 3.5 sacks. That's a huge number.
That was the prop.
That's a huge number. I'm going under.
Under.
I'm going to go under because other people are going to get there before him. That offensive line for the Bears is garbage.
Exactly. That's why it's a huge number. Like, even if that thing is a sieve, there's still going to be other guys that are going to get in there.
The interior of the Bears' offensive line might be where their strength is. On the outsides, that's where they have problems. So unless they're getting Aaron Donald out on the edge, I don't think that's going to be as big of a matchup nightmare as they think it's going to be. Everybody else is going to eat because Aaron Donald's going to take 2 guys.
Yeah. Facts. All right. Most rushing yards in Baltimore Raiders on Monday night. That is clearly Lamar.
I'll say Josh Jacobs just to be different.
I hate all of this. Josh Jacobs. I hate Josh Jacobs. I don't think he's very good, but I think it's going to be him.
And last but certainly not least, what is your favorite fall treat?
Reese's Peanut Butter Cups for the win.
That's an all-year treat.
Yeah, I know, but
he wants the pumpkins.
Yeah, the pumpkin ones are amazing. Anytime they shape the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups into something, they're a miracle from God.
Yeah,
And
that's
I'm
true.
serious.
I do prefer the eggs to the.
Yeah,
to
the
soup.
eggs are the 1-1, but the 1-2 is definitely pumpkins.
No, this year they came out with ones that are eggs, but they made them for football season, so they call them footballs, but it's still the goddamn eggs.
Anyway, I'm taking a pumpkin pie shake from Whitey's Ice Cream.
Such a common white girl.
Yep,
I will go the classic standard caramel apple.
fair enough.
I'm just gonna steal gravy for our Thanksgiving draft again, and just gonna get on the gravy train now. Let's do it.
Oh boy,
Yes, if he takes deviled eggs, I'm quitting the show.
deviled eggs are the goat.
Ugh.
No, we're not having the deviled eggs discussion again. We're not doing this. We're not doing this until November.
There's a time and a place for deviled eggs, DJ. It's called a picnic of some kind, and that's the only place where they will actually be eaten, where they will be enjoyed by people, because you expect the food to be terrible.
I'm gonna go home with deviled eggs.
DJ's the devil himself.
Oh my Lord. All right. Let's finish this nonsense off. All right. So, ways you can find us going forward. We have our site. It's actually back up and running. It's done paid all the bills this week. So, forfantasysakeqc.com is the main hub. You can find us on Facebook at forfantasysakeqc. You can find us on Twitter at FFSQC. We're on the YouTubes at, I'm not sure, I think at forfantasysakeqc. Don't hold me to that. Might be FFSQC. It's one of the two. We have branding issues in there. Other than that, we are also on TikTok. I think that is FFSQC, but we haven't been on that in a while. But maybe I'll jump on there today and complain about targeting or flags or something at some point.
Get off the lawn. TikTok
yes.
edition.
Yeah, it's a good way. It's good. It's a good way to kill 15 minutes when you're sitting on the crapper. Yeah. So with that said, that's a great way to end the show. And we just lost all of our sponsors. All right. So. And we will see you next week with all of the usual nonsense. Actually, we have a brand new show starting tomorrow night. Mike and Nick will be having their Monday Night Football show that will be right before Monday Night Football. We're still deciding on a name. We should probably do that before the show launches tomorrow night. Also have short yardage on Wednesdays, just like always. And then we will be back next Sunday. We have all the standard usual week-to-week goodness that you have come to expect. On the regular website. Deej, am I forgetting anything else? And he goes, "What? Chris, am I forgetting anything else?"
Nope.
And we're brought to you by Mobile Party Experience.
Thank you.
There you go, Doug.
Yep. Mobile Party Experience are our title sponsors this year, and again, thanks to them for joining in the effort. So,
did they make that awesome open too?
I did that.
Oh. I was going to give them credit for it, DJ, but you just had to get in there and get your credit, didn't you, DJ?
Doug, send us home before I kill Chris.
Oh, no.
Yeah, unfortunately, we had. You know where I always notice it is where they are dragging the guy out of the end zone like a dead body. I'm always like, that's where I start paying attention to the video, and I'm like, that's the funniest part of all of them. Okay, well. We got all the way to the end before we got off the rails. That's pretty good for us.
Yeah.
Except my
All
internet.
right, so for Deej, for Chris, I am Doug. We will see y'all next time.